Storyblocks.
On BLITZ, we have Coach Allan Bailey of the Jefferson Lady Dragons. Coach, thank you so much for being willing to talk about your team a little bit.
Yeah, thanks for coming out. Really appreciate having you and all that you do for high school sports in general.
Absolutely, and y'all are riding high right now. 10-1 overall, number 3 state ranking, outscoring opponents 112-16, which is bizarre. What's the feeling that you've got around this team right now, and how do you kind of keep complacency from creeping in with all the success that you've had in the hype?
Well, that's always the challenge, is to make sure that you're performing at your best no matter what, no matter who. And it's a battle. You never want to be at your best at the beginning. Mm-hmm. And so for us, we're always trying to find little things to get better at on a day-to-day basis, from a pitch-to-pitch basis. We always try to pinpoint some things, whether it be an energy level or some strategy perspectives, or just whatever it may be. That week we're always going to pick out something to try to get better at. That way we don't get complacent. And last night we had a 3-run lead, 3-0, and we kind of had a little bit of that creep in, and we had to correct ourselves. Our seniors did a really good job of rallying the troops, and we scored a bunch of runs quick to kind of blow that game out. And so it's just a good reminder that we always play to our standard, because anything can happen in the game of softball for sure.
Yeah, and you kind of talked about how that offense can just go off at any moment. And again, 112 runs in 11 games, that's bizarre. So talk about this lineup and how you feel, what makes it so special.
This is a really deep lineup for us. Being able to return what we did, and we've got some new players stepping in, but we're able to score runs in bunches. We've seen that. We're able to play some small ball when we need to, and bunt, and steal bases. That's been a big kind of focus for us this year, is using our speed and our athleticism to spark a big inning. Mm-hmm. And we've seen that a lot. But up and down the lineup, we've got a lot of girls that are hitting the ball hard. And I think the good thing for us, at least to this point, is our lineup hasn't all clicked at the same time. Mm. And so obviously that's the goal, is to, as we get into the meat of our region schedule, to click at the same time, but also be able to keep making those in-game adjustments. But the lineup is deep, and it's special, and it's fun to watch them hit and score a lot of runs.
Yeah, and as special as it is, you could argue that what's going on defensively and pitching-wise is just as, or even more special. Again, only giving up 16 runs in 11 games. That's hard to get your mind around. What would you say about how much emphasis is put on pitching and defense?
Well, we graduated 2 pitchers last year, and they're going off to play college softball. So anytime that you have to replace that, it's kind of a question mark. And, all off season, we relied heavily on, a lot of drills and a lot of, time and effort to, our 2 main pitchers are, Braylon Vandiver. She's a junior. She's got a lot of innings in the circle. And then a sophomore, Christiana Truelove. They've both done a fantastic job of just keeping us, in, ball games with their command, being able to, let our defense play, because the defense is a strength of ours, and they've done a really good job with, staying in the zone, not walking people, and our defense has backed them up. Really, it's fun to watch them play and dive, and they make a lot of routine plays look really easy, and hard plays, and it's been a really good start to the year for sure.
Yeah, and there's so many players throughout the history of this program that has really stood out, but Jenna Rapp is definitely putting her legacy in place and going to blow away all the records more than likely, especially offensively, and she's great defensively. But talk about how special of a talent she is.
Yeah, she's unbelievable. It's fun to watch her, just from a day-to-day basis. In this facility, she's always trying to, make her bat stronger, and then before and after practice on the field, working on her glove. And there's no secret to success. It's all about hard work and what you're able to put in and outworking. Especially at her level, the things that she's working on is fine tuning just a large repertoire of skills that she's able to demonstrate out there. And But it's not an accident. I mean, she's fun to watch, But the best thing about Jenna is she's a very humble person.
Mm-hmm.
She works hard. September 1st is coming up, which is going to be a big day for her and her recruitment, and that's when college coaches can reach out with their offers. And so, a couple days from now, it's going to be fun to see what all stacks up. But it couldn't happen to a better person. She's a tremendous teammate. Human being. I mean, it's just fun to be able to coach her and watch her perform.
Yeah. Now, I know that you've been around this game for quite some time and had so much success, so I know the expectations are always going to be high. What's the goal that you've set for this team, and what needs to happen to make that a reality?
I think coming into year 3 here at Jefferson, for me, I didn't have to set a goal. The expectations are in place. We want to play at our standard, which is very high. And the girls have, they've come up with their own set of, expectations, and they want a region championship. They want to make it to Columbus. Last year we were so close. We had a tough draw with Heritage Catoosa, and they ended up winning the whole thing. And so we saw what it's going to take for us to be able to be in that position, hopefully at the end of the year. And so for the girls to take the ownership of the expectations and the goals, that's what it's all about. And I think that they're going to be pushing each other daily to be able to reach those goals.
Yeah, and I think so much of what you're talking about right now fits into kind of the mantra and motto for this team, and talk about what sort of that central message is for this group and the meaning behind it.
The biggest thing that we've kind of implemented is playing for Jefferson, for that J brand, and everything that we do is to leave it better than we found it, from a class perspective, but also from a year to year. Being able to, just play to our highest level every single day, because when we do that together, everything else takes care of itself. If we're all rowing in the same direction, you could go over all the hashtags and all the, cliches that people say, but ultimately it comes down to the group that's together, that's able to go out there and perform. And we've done a lot of team building stuff, and the girls like each other. They're very connected, and all of those things, just playing at our standard of softball is really going to elevate us to the next level.
Yeah. Well, Coach, congrats on what's been a great season so far, and I can't wait to see how the rest of it unfolds.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.